everyone, me again. Welcome back to xameliax. I hope you are well. So today we're going to be doing a much requested video over on Instagram. I'm going to be comparing 3 of the top leading hands-free breast pumps. I'm going to be giving you an in-depth review and I'm going to be telling you which one I think is the best value for money. Now these 3 pumps come from 3 different price brackets, starting at £64.99 all the way up to £500. Yes, £500. And I have tested them all out for the last 8 and a bit months. I feel like I've given them a good go and I've got a lot of information to share. So stick around if you want to find out which one I think you should be spending your money on. Also, for those of you who don't know me, hi, my name's Amelia. I am a content creator, influencer. I hate that word, gives me the ick. Over here, over on Instagram, and also on my blog, xameliax.com. So if you like what you see today, if you like my face, feel free to click subscribe and stick around for a while. So I've been exclusively breastfeeding as well for the last 8 and a bit months, and also pumping for the occasional bottle, which has been a very, very useful part of our journey. In fact, I wrote a whole blog post on our breastfeeding journey so far. So if that is of interest for you, I will leave the link down below. So I've really tested these pumps out and I feel like I can give you a really well balanced and honest opinion on what I think is worth spending your money on and what I don't think is worth spending your money on, and which features to look out for and which ones not to. So I'm going to try and keep it as succinct as possible. I have also done this in blog post form, so if you prefer to read and skim through and get the information that you need, I'll leave a link to that down below. But if you're in the mood to watch, sit down, grab a cup of tea and let's go. The pumps I'm going to be talking about today are the Momcozy S12, the Wren hands-free pump, and the coveted Elvie hands-free pump. Some of these have been sent to me by the brands to test out and see what I think of them. Others I have bought with my own cold hard cash, but none of that actually matters because if you've been following me for a while, you'll know that I just give you my honest opinion regardless of how things turn up at my door. So that's exactly what we're going to do today. Let's start with the Momcozy S12s. Now this is the most budget friendly of all 3 of our pumps. This one comes in at the moment, double check the prices, obviously depending on when you're watching this video, it's about £64.99 for one pump. Obviously you can buy 1 or you can buy 2. It's completely up to you which way you do things. Obviously it's quicker if you've got 2 because you can have them both going off at the same time, but you can also do it with 1 and just keep switching from the sides. At the end I'm going to also talk about some products that I think would be useful to go alongside your pumping journey, so stick around for that, especially useful if you're only having 1 pump. But as you can see, the Momcozy S12, very bulky. I would say for me, the biggest plus point of these is the price. They're obviously the cheapest, so you can't really grumble at that. But the biggest con is the fact that they are the least discreet out of all 3 of the pumps we're going to be talking about today. They're just very rounded. And what I'll do is I'll pop them in with a tight t-shirt on so you can see how they look. But you really can see that you are pumping with these ones on. They are also quite top heavy. So this is the motor that goes on the top. And it's heavy. So I found sometimes if you're moving around with this, they're quite easy to tip out of your bra, depending on the style of your bra. These are my favourite nursing bras, by the way. They are from ModiBodi and they use period pant technology, which if you follow me for a while, you'll know I'm a big, big fan of. And they use period pants technology to absorb any leaks, any excess milk, so you don't have to rely or wear breast pads. Your bra is the breast pad. So if you get leaks throughout the day, you don't have to worry. It just goes into your bra. They are magic, they're amazing. They look like this. Let me show you and try not to get chucked off YouTube. Obviously they're nursing friendly, so you just unclip them and you can feed, but they just collect milk throughout the day. So they're blooming amazing. And if you're fed up with breast pads, invest in some of these and they will change your breastfeeding life, I promise. So that is the biggest con for these, is just the size and how undiscreet they are. They are also quite noisy. If I put this on, it's pretty noisy. You kind of get used to the sound. I mean, unless you're going to be pumping in very quiet public spaces a lot of the time, I guess it really doesn't matter how noisy or how discreet your breast pumps are. But if that is something that you're looking for, this one is probably not the best for you. So this one has a few different settings. It has got stimulation mode, it's got pumping mode, and it's got stimulation and pumping simultaneously. So that is when it pumps really fast to simulate the start of a breastfeed where baby is sucking quite quickly, and then it goes to more slow sort of drawn out pumps. So you can do the stimulation on its own, you can do the drawn out pumps, or you can do stimulation and then it does a draw out one, and then stimulation, draw out one. So there's 3 different things that you can do with that. It's got a little display on the top that you can see there, which is, you know, it's quite easy to understand, but once you know what you're doing, I found it quite difficult because I don't tend to read instructions. Just going straight in with this one and trying to figure out what all the symbols meant can be a little bit fiddly, but once you've got your head around it, it's actually fairly straightforward. It also has a timer on it so you can see how long you've been pumping for, which I find is quite handy. And for me, one of the best things about this pump is its volume. So I don't know how much this goes to. Well, there's 180 ml. So you could probably still get more than 180 in there, which for me at the start of my journey when I had an oversupply was a godsend, because I could fill one of these quite quickly. Not anymore, baby's weaning now, so everything's gone down. But that was a really good feature for me at the start, was just how much milk you can get in there. But also the fact that you can see top down if it's working, because it is clear. So when you look straight down, you can see if the milk is going in or not. Now that is something I hadn't thought about until I started pumping. And on a few occasions I've put my pumps in, I've been sat there like la la la, you know, getting the milk, doing a great job, and then after 20 minutes taking my pump out and there's nothing in there because it hasn't quite been aligned properly and the milk hasn't been coming out, and I just didn't realise. So it's actually really handy to be able to just at a glance see if it's working, if the milk is coming out, and if you're on the right track. So I really like that about the Momcozy. That's a good feature for me. It also pours really well, so you just take the motor off and then you have got a little spout there, so you just tip it upside down and it comes out that tiny spout, and it's really easy to pour from this into your bottle or into your storage bags, whatever you are doing. So these are the least discreet, they're very bulky, they're a little bit top heavy. The battery life isn't great. I find I have to charge these a lot. And yeah, they can be a little bit hard to read on the side to see how much milk is in there depending on the light. If you're now pumping at night time, it's really difficult to see because they're like the measurements are clear. It's a really minor thing, but the major thing for me, the major con for me about these is they're very strong, and even on the lowest setting I find them quite uncomfortable to pump with, and you might think the stronger the suction the better, the more milk you're gonna get, but actually it's not always the case, and I just feel like I feel a little bit, I wouldn't go as far as to say sore, but I just feel a little bit uncomfortable after I've pumped with these. I know that I've pumped with these after I've pumped with them, if that makes sense. But overall, it's a good pump. It does exactly what you need it to do, and it's the cheapest of the 3 that we're talking about today. It's a really good price point. They're all very easy to clean, I will also say that, and I will also say that I can't say that I've had more milk with any of them in particular. You know, they all do the job. They all get the milk, no problem. I think if you delve a bit more into breastfeeding, you'll know that there's so many things that can affect your milk supply from day to day, week to week. I wouldn't say that a particular pump is going to magically produce more milk for you. It all depends on, you know, how much baby's drunk the day before, your stress levels, how hydrated you are, loads of different things. So none of them particularly produce more milk than the other, and they're all very easy to clean. So just that, I think that's an important point to get in there, because that's probably what a lot of people will ask. They'll be like, oh, which one gets you the most milk? How long's a piece of string? Okay, our second pump is the Wren Pump. This is our mid-range pump. This comes in at £97.99, I believe, currently at the moment for one pump. And I think the double is £187, but don't quote me on that. I will leave links to all of these down below so you can see the current prices. I actually do have a discount code for Wren, so that makes these a fair bit cheaper. So that's actually good. If these are the ones you're gonna go for, get yourself some money off. Now, as you can see by the look of them, these are a lot more streamlined than the Momcozy S12s. I would say they're probably slightly, are they? I don't know, they're probably about the same size, but they are very different shape. and that makes these a lot more discreet. It just basically looks like you've had a boob job when you've got these in. But these, yeah, they just kind of make everything just a little bit bigger, but they are quite discreet to look at when you have them in. They have 2 modes on this one. They've got stimulation and pump, and that is it. It is super simple to work these. There's the on button, there's the mode from stimulation to pumping, and then there's the strength up and down. Easy peasy. They have a decent capacity at about 150 ml, which you can see on the side here. That is actually a lot easier to read than the Momcozy. So yeah, they hold a decent amount, not as much as the Momcozy ones, but they hold a decent amount. And these sit really nicely in your bra. So you can move around, you can do whatever you need to do. Even though the motor is on the top, like that's the motor part, I don't feel like they topple out like the Momcozy ones do. They're not as top heavy, probably because of the shape and the size of them. These have really good suction, but they're not too strong. Like I don't find these uncomfortable at all. These are so comfortable to pump with. And really easy to just slot in and start going. The only thing I will say about these, and also the Elvie actually, is when you're wearing them, if they are nearly full and you lean forward, I have found that they can sometimes leak, but that's obviously only a problem if they're nearly full and you're practically doing yoga in them, which you probably shouldn't be doing. You could just like relax, chill out, have a cup of tea and do your pumping. But yeah, that is the one thing I would say about these, is that they can leak when you lean forward, but they hold a decent amount of milk. They are more difficult to pour from. However, top tip, because that is the spout of these, like when you pour from these, so they can go a bit all over the place. However, top tip, use the flangey bit, use that bit, flange, what a wonderful word. Use that, pop it in the top of your bottle, use it like a funnel and pour like that. Since I've been doing that, no spillages, absolutely amazing. So even though these are harder to pour from, there's a way around it, so it's a bit of a moot point, that one. I flipping love these pumps, however, there are a couple of things to mention. As you can see, you can't look straight down like you can with the Momcozy. So for these, I kind of have to use my phone on selfie mode to see if they're working. So that's a little bit fiddly, but you know, you get used to it and it's fine. And the majority of the time you get them on first time and it's not a problem. It's just when you've had that one session where nothing's come out and you thought you were pumping loads, it's just a little bit soul destroying. So yeah, you can't see top down like you can with the Momcozy ones on these. There is only 2 settings on these, so there's stimulation and there's pump. Now, I have to say, for me, that's never been a problem. I don't feel like I need the fancy settings. It just works really well for me. Just having it on stimulation, it kind of does it itself for like about 2 minutes, I think, and then it kicks into the pumping mode automatically, or you can just press the button and go straight there. But if you are looking for something with loads of fancy modes, this one isn't that. It just has 2 and it does the job. And the other thing with these is how noisy they are. This is how they sound. So again, unless you're planning on pumping a lot in a public library, I wouldn't really be bothered about the sound. They are not the quietest of the 3, but they're also not the loudest. It's just a hands-free pump, it's fine. But yeah, overall, I really love the Wren. They also come in green, if that's your bag. And I think for the price point, they're absolutely fantastic. Hello, Editing Amelia here. I also forgot to mention that the Wren pumps come with a multitude of different flange sizes. So if you're not aware, before you buy your pumps, you need to fit the flange, which is the bit that goes over your boobs, to the size of your nipple, something I didn't know about before. The only one that comes with different adapters is the My Wren pump, and it comes with, I think, 2 or 3 different sizes, so you can get the perfect fit for you. With the Elvie, you have to measure before you buy, and then you buy the size regardless, and it just comes with that. Whereas the Wren one, you can try them at home, you can see which one feels more comfortable and you can go with that. The Momcozy doesn't come with any, I don't think. So yeah, that's also something to think about. Measure your nipples. And last but not least, the coveted Elvie pump. If you are researching hands-free pumps right now, you've probably come across these, and they are very popular. But they're very expensive. They cost, ready for this, bearing in mind, £67.99, £94.99, £299 for one, £500 for two. They are pricey. These are so expensive, but they come with a load more features than both of the other pumps combined. I like these pumps. I do really like these pumps. They work well. They are the most discreet out of all of them, as you can see. Let's compare it with the Wren. So much thinner, like the same shape. Okay, so they've got the same shape, but they are smaller, as you can see from there, and they are a lot thinner. So if discreetness is what you're looking for, these are the ones. They are also so quiet. Let me see if I can turn this on. Amazing. That is probably the best thing about them, is how discreet they are and how quiet they are. Fantastic. They also connect to your phone via an app, so you can control them wirelessly with your phone if that's what you're into. And you can also, luckily, do it all on the handset as well, because I have found that the technology that comes with these, which is what really sets them apart from the others, doesn't actually always work. I have one of my pumps that will not connect to the Bluetooth for some reason. It's just disconnected itself and I can't figure it out. I'm currently chatting to Elvie customer services about that, so that's a bit frustrating. But yeah, you can do it all via the app. It gives you insights onto how much you've pumped, how long you've pumped for. It saves all of your settings, because this has a load of different stimulation modes. It has different like rhythms that it can pump to. It's very fancy. But like I said, I haven't had any more milk with this and its fancy rhythms than I have with like the Wren, for example, that's literally just got two modes. So again, it depends what you're looking for. This does a lot of stuff, but the outcome for me has been pretty much the same. It's also a lot smaller, so obviously it makes it more discreet, but it means it holds less. I think you're looking at about 120 ml in there, which is a fine amount. Like it's absolutely fine, but again, if you just want to like get stuff done, you'll have to be tipping this out and changing it a lot more often. I like the way this goes together, if I'm honest. Like, it's very slick, which you would expect for the price. And this pours really well. So this little green bit comes off and you can see there's a spout. So that pours very easily, which is also nice. They have a battery indicator that tells you when the battery is low. I do, again, feel like I need to charge these quite a bit. In fact, one of them is charging now because it died and I didn't realise. So yeah, the battery life isn't amazing, but it does warn you when it's about to go low. And you can't see top down on these, but you can have a look on the app and it tells you live how much you are pumping. So you can see if it's actually working. However, in theory, that's fantastic and it solves the problem, but I have found it to be absolutely bloody useless. I've literally been pumping there and it's saying, yeah, you've got 70 ml in this one, you've got 40 ml in this one, and I've taken them out and there's been less than 10 ml in both. And this stops when it's full, which is a really handy feature. However, with the Elvie, it's supposed to stop when it's full, and the amount of times this has stopped and said completely full, I'm like, oh yeah, great, I've got like 120 ml. There's nothing in there, or there's barely anything in there, and it's stopped saying, can't do any more, literally can't fit any more milk in, and it's wrong. And then you can override it by pressing the button, but like you override it and then it stops again like a minute later and says, no, I'm full, and it's not. The tech is a great idea. Does it work in practice? For me personally, and I could just have some dodgy ones, I don't know. But for me personally, it doesn't work seamlessly, and for the money, you would expect it to be perfect, and it's just not. These also leak if you lean forward and they're a little bit more full. I think it's genuinely just like the design of these with the cups on the bottom. I haven't found it with the Momcozy because the spout, the hole is right at the top there, whereas these, it's obviously halfway through, so it's just going to happen with those. And also, I don't feel like the Elvie are as strong as the others. However, like I said before, it doesn't actually necessarily mean that you're going to get any more milk if it's stronger. These are very comfortable to pump with. They're very discreet, they're great. But overall, for the price point, these fall short for me. If these were the same price as the others, I'd say these hands down, but they're not. And they're not just a little bit more expensive, they are eye-wateringly expensive. And I think a lot of people in America can get these on their health insurance. In the UK, that's not so much of a thing. So you're paying out money from your bank for these. And for me personally, I just don't think it's worth it. There you go. Okay, so which pump do I think is the best value for money? Well, if budget is your only concern and you just need the cheapest one possible, the Momcozy, they do a job. If money isn't a problem at all, I'm very jealous, then yeah, go for the Elvie. They're a great pump. They do some really fancy stuff and they're super discreet. However, for the majority of people, my personal recommendation is the Wren Pump. It does exactly what you need. It's also fairly discreet, and the price point is fantastic. I think it's really, really good. You can afford to get 2 pumps, and they do a bloody good job. The Wren, for me, by far is the best one, and my total recommendation. Other things I recommend, the Elvie Catch. Is this called the Elvie Catch? I can't remember now. Been a while, but this is essentially like a hacker, if you've heard of the hacker, but it's more user-friendly. This sits inside your bra and suctions onto your boob, and with gentle pressure it can draw milk out of your boob. So if you're not wanting to buy a double, if you're just going to buy the single pump, something like this, I think this is about £30, something like this on the other side while you're pumping with that one, can create a bit of suction and can catch any or encourage any extra letdown. So you might actually get a decent amount from that side whilst pumping, and then obviously swap over. For something without suction are these milk catchers from Wren, and I use these so much. I feel like every breastfeeding mum needs these, especially at the beginning. They have no suction whatsoever. So obviously any suction you have can stimulate your milk, so you've got to be careful with that. But these have no suction. They literally just sit in your bra and just catch any letdown, any leakage throughout the day. So obviously at the start, when your boobs are leaking everywhere, this is how I started my stash, was from these. Obviously, I just put them in while I was feeding, so I knew how long the milk had been there. Don't wear these all day and then feed that milk to your baby, not safe. But if you're feeding for like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever, and catching whatever comes out on the other side, you can then use that. But if you're only using one pump, you can pump from one side, catch any letdown from this side and swap over. It's a good little way to sort of maximise your pumping sessions. And they're really cheap as well. I'll leave a link to those down below. And then also, when you've got your milk, you're going to need some storage bags. I will leave the ones that I really rate down below. There's plenty of them and they all do a job as well. But I found some that are my personal favourite, so I'll link them down below. And also something that we use a lot of is our bottle warmer. So obviously once you've got your milk, you need to serve it. This for me has been a game changer. This is our bottle warmer. It's one that we use around the house, but it's also portable as well. So this you can use with formula or breast milk, but you basically just pour your breast milk in, you turn it on, it heats it to the specific temperature you're looking for. So that's amazing, because sometimes you just have to guess, like you just pop it in hot water and you just have to guess when it's hot enough. This will heat it to the specific temperature, pour it into your bottle, off you go. Yeah, this is a fantastic product. So once you've got your milk from your pumps and you're thinking about heating it up, I'll leave a link to this one down below. We use that every single time. There'll be lots of resources down there, but hopefully this video has been useful. I know I've been talking for a very long time. I will try and condense this down in the edit, but I've just got a lot to say. I've used them a lot, and yeah, I know how difficult it can be and how overwhelming it is when you're looking at all the different options and you're spending a lot of money. You want to get it right. So hopefully this information can help you make the decision that's right for you. And yeah, if it has been helpful, please do leave me a comment down below, even if you just leave a milk emoji, just to let me know that you've been here. And if you want to stick around, feel free, click subscribe, come and follow me on Instagram. I post some useful content every now and again, and it would be lovely to have you. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and best of luck in your pumping breastfeeding journey, and I will see you again soon. Bye!